ladies and gentlemen, my name is Destiny and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I want to show you guys how to build a fully functional English dictionary with Django. And this course is going to help you understand some core concepts about Django as a beginner or as a professional. So if you want to see more videos like this, to make sure to drop a like on this video and consider subscribing, as it would mean the world to me. So let's get started. Okay guys, before we go ahead and start building this project, I want to show you what the end product of this project is going to look like. So firstly, when we're done setting up everything, we're going to get this really nice looking interface over here that's going to help us search for a word. So let's say I want to search for a word politics, and you click on search. Now just take a close look at what's going to happen. It would automatically check the web and gets the meaning of politics for us in our dictionary, and as you can see, it says social relation involving intrigue to gain authority or power, and it gives us some synonyms, all this over here, and it gives us an antonym. So this is really fun. Let's say I want to search for another word like destiny. So let's say I want to search for destiny and click on search. So what do you notice? It gets the meaning of destiny for us, and it says an event or a cause of event, and as you can see, it got all the synonyms for us and also got an antonym for us. And finally, let's search for another word. Let's say python. Yeah, let's just say python and click on search, and let's give it a couple of seconds to go ahead and bring out the meaning for us. So as you can see, it says the meaning is large old walled bars, and it gives us a synonym over here: bar, rock snake, reticulated python, and all that. And finally, it gave us an antonym. So that's pretty much what we built in this course, and hopefully you have a whole lot of fun building this. Trust me, there is a lot of logic that went into building it, and it's gonna really help sharpen your skill in Python and Django, to be precise. So let's get started. In order to start building this English dictionary, the first thing you want to do is go ahead and create a projects folder, and you're going to create a virtual environment and install Django in it. So after that, we go ahead and start writing down some codes. So let's just go ahead and open up our command prompt. So if you're on a Mac, you can open up the terminal. If you're on a window, you want to open up your command prompt. So I'm on a Windows computer, so that's why I'm using the command prompt right now. So the first thing you want to do is you want to make a directory, or let's just say I want to go to my desktop, so that's where I'm going to leave it. So I just sit into the desktop and I want to make a directory in here. So we could just call this whatever you want. Let's say I want to call this English dictionary, something like that. English dictionary. I think that's okay. So we could just hit enter on our keyboard, and we want to go into the new folder that we just made, and it's called English dictionary. I don't know why I keep spelling that way. So with this, now what you want to do in here is go ahead and activate a virtual environment in it. So I'd highly recommend, whenever you want to work with any Django projects, it's highly recommended that you make a new virtual environment for it to keep things working perfectly fine, even when there's a change in version of Django or something like that. So let's go ahead and make a virtual environment. In order to do it, all you have to type out is py -m, then venv, just like that. Then you could go ahead and pass in whatever you want the name of a virtual environment to be. Let's say you want it to be like English dictionary or some, but I just want to leave mine as venv, so I'll just know that that's my virtual environment folder, and I won't get myself confused or something like that. So just go ahead and hit enter on our keyboard, and we're going to give this some couple of seconds. It should successfully create the virtual environment, and after that we'll just go ahead and activate it. So let's just give this a couple of seconds. Okay, and as you can see, it successfully created the virtual environment, but right now it's not activated. If you want to activate it, all you have to do is go ahead and type out venv, which is the name of my virtual environment. Let's say the name of a virtual environment was some like English dictionary. Then you want to go ahead and type it out first. So the name goes first, followed by a backslash, then scripts, just like that, followed by a backslash, then activate.parts, just like that. And when you hit enter, as you can see, it gets activated over here. So this parentheses, venv parentheses, is going to show you that it's activated. So the next thing we want to do in here is go ahead and install Django. So it's very easy. All you have to do is just say pip install Django. So we can say pip install Django just like this, and you want to make sure you are connected to the internet. If you're connected to the internet, everything should work totally fine. So go ahead, connect to the internet and say pip install Django, and you want to just hit enter on your keyboard, and this is going to take a couple of seconds to install. It's not a really large program, it's not a really large library, it's just 7.9 MB, and it comes with other packages. As you can see, it's installing pytz, it's installing SQL parse and as giraffe, something like that. So with all this now, just give it a couple of seconds. You should just go ahead and install this successfully. Okay guys, as you can see, it's successfully installed Django over here. So the next thing we want to do is just pip freeze and see all the libraries that we have now. And as you can see, there is Django 3.2.6 in here. So after this, we want to go ahead and make a Django project. So you want to do that, you just say Django-admin. And if you just say Django-admin and hit enter on your keyboard, just take a look at what happens. You see that there's a whole lot of commands over here. Okay, from all this bunch of commands over here, we're just going to use this one which says start project to create a Django project. So in order to do that, you just want to say Django-admin, then followed by start projects just like this, and you're going to name your project whatever you want to name it. In my case, let's just say I want to name it English Dictionary, and let's say English Dictionary PRJ, just to make things look better and nice. And I want to copy this so I don't have to always type it down. So with this now, when you hit enter on your keyboard, you should go ahead and make the projects for you. So the next thing you want to do is go into this project. So I'll just go into English Dictionary, and I'm going to make an app. So just say python manage.py stats app just like this, and we're going to name it something like, let's say dictionary. You can name it whatever you want, but let's just say dictionary and hit enter on our keyboard. So with this now, we are pretty much done with all we need to do with the terminal or the command prompt. The next thing we want to do is go ahead and open up a code editor. In my case, I'll be using the PyCharm IDE. You can use the Visual Studio Code. As you can see, I also have the Visual Studio Code over here, but writing pure Python codes, or let's say writing codes to Python, I think I prefer PyCharm for that. So you can go ahead and open up PyCharm if you're using one. If you're using Visual Studio Code, totally fine, or Sublime Text, Adam, whatever, go ahead and open up anyone that you want to use. So in PyCharm, you want to click on file, then you want to come over to open. So what I want to do is go ahead and open up the projects folder that I created, and I think it's on my desktop. So on my desktop, let's see, there is it over here, English Dictionary. So I'm just going to open this, and we should give this a couple of seconds and everything should fully get scanned to the index just like that. Then we could go ahead and start working. So with this now, let's just go ahead and install our app. So this is our virtual environment. Then we want to open up this folder here. This is where the manage.py is stored. You want to open up this one, and also want to open up this one. So firstly, let's come over to settings.py, and we want to install our app over here. So we're just going to say dictionary. So that's the name of our app, dictionary, and you want to add a comma over here. Not really necessary for now, but in case we're going to create another app, that's why I'm adding the comma, so I don't actually forget there was supposed to be a comma there. With this now, I think we are pretty much good to go ahead and get started. So the next thing I want to do is configure my templates, and after that we're going to go ahead and map some URLs. So okay, it says no Python interpreter configured for this project, so let me just go ahead and let's use this one, or let me go ahead and configure an interpreter real quick. So just give me some moments. And so the next thing we want to do is go ahead and create a templates folder. So this is our root directory. Your root directory is wherever your manage.py Python file is stored. So this is it over here. As you can see, it's stored here, and this is the folder that has it. This one that says English Dictionary PRJ, just like that. So you want to right click on the folder, and you want to come over to new, then directory, and you just want to name this the folder or the directory, whatever you're calling it, templates, just like that. So name it template, and in here I want to create two templates. So the first one is going to be the home.html, and the second is going to be, let's say, something like Word, whatever. Let's just say Word.html. So in here, I'm not going to type out, or let's say I'm not going to build a home page from scratch. I already have something that I did before I actually started recording this video. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy the home and the Word HTML code and just paste it in here. And you want to get code you want to get the link to all those codes, just check the description. They are all hosted on GitHub. Everything should be working totally fine if you follow the links there. So for the home, I copied this link over here, and for the word, I copied this one, and I'm just gonna paste it in here in the word. So with this now, I think we are good to go. Let's just go ahead and close all this up. We could just close all this up now, and the next thing we want to do is go ahead and configure our template in the settings.py. All you have to do is just come over here at the top, and you want to import OS. So there are a whole lot of ways of doing this. You could just do this without the OS, you could do it with the OS. There's just a whole lot of way of doing it, but just follow along with what we're going to do in this video. So I just imported OS at the top over here, and the next thing I'm going to do is just come over to this template section, and I'm just going to come over to this template section, and in here in this list over here, what I'm just going to say is os.path.join. So os.path join, and I want to join the base directory, which I told you has the manage.py Python file. So I want to join it with a template folder, just like this. Everything should be working totally fine now. So all I have to do is just go ahead and close this up. I don't think I need it any longer. I think I'm going to cd into, let me just open up a new terminal over here, and we're going to cd into English dictionary PRJ, just like that. And now we're going to run a development server. So it's as easy as saying python manage.py run server, just like this, and we'll give this a couple of seconds. Is just go ahead and load this up. So as you can see, it loads this link over here, or you could call it a development server at port 8000. So when you go over to your browser, so I just want to come over to my browser, and I want to open up a new tab. So with this now, let's just say I'm going to do this in an incognito window. I'm just going to close the normal Chrome window, and okay, we're gonna be working from here. So if I go over to this one over here that says port 8000, all I just need to do is click on enter, and what do you notice? It brings up this page over here that says the install worked successfully, congratulations. So we are seeing this page because we don't have any URL mapped out yet. So let's just go ahead and start mapping URLs out right now. So in order to map URLs, what you have to do is come back to your IDE or code editor, and you want to go ahead and open up your app. So this is our app. Now in here in the app, we want to create a new file. So we're going to create a new file, and we're going to name this URLs. So URLs, and in here what we want to say is from Django.urls. So from Django.urls, we want to import path, just like that, and we're going to say URL patterns. So URL patterns should be equals to a list, and in this list we're going to have paths, and this path is going to have an empty string in it, which identifies that whenever we go to the home page, that's what we want to see, and it's going to have views dot a function that we're going to name it. So before we do that, let's go ahead and import views. So we're going to say from dot import views, just like that, and we're still going to create these views in a couple of seconds. So the next thing we want to do is go ahead and say views dot home. So we're going to call it home, but right now nothing is going to work over here. So let's just go ahead and create a function for this. So you want to open up your views.py, but before we create a function for this, take note, when we go ahead and run this is not going to work yet, because this is not the main URLs file. We also need to include this in the main project URLs file, this one over here. So you want to open up this folder that says English Dictionary PRJ, and you want to open up urls.py. So in this one, I'm going to just click on that, and also I'm going to add include. So I'm also importing include from Django.urls. So all I need to do is go ahead and include this one that we created over here in here. And if you want to do that, just open up paths, and there's going to be an empty string just like that. And we're going to add include from this include. Then we're going to add the name of the app followed by .urls. So it's stored in dictionary.urls, and we want to make sure that the spelling is correct, so we don't actually start running into errors later in the future. So with all this now, I think we are done. Let's just go ahead and close up all this and open up the views.py. So in here we're going to create a function. So we're just going to say define home, and this is going to take in a request as a parameter. And the next thing we want to do is just go ahead and return render. So we return render, and let's say you are working with Django, you don't want to return render for now. You can also return some HTTP response or whatever, but I just want to go ahead and return render, so we'll actually go faster into building this project. Okay, so in here it's gonna inherit from a request. So there's usually three arguments that goes in here: the request, the name of the template, and either a context or something like that. But now we're just gonna stick with home.html. So with this now, if you come over to our website and refresh, let's see. As you can see, we have this front end over here that doesn't look really good. I think that's because I'm not connected to the internet. So let me just quickly connect to the internet, and I'm connected to the internet. So let's go ahead and refresh this. So as you can see, it's looking pretty good. Not so really a good design, but just for this tutorial, just got something rolling. So we actually have something that we're going to be looking on. So what you're going to do is type in a word over here, click on search now, and it's going to work. So with this now, there is going to be another template. If you remember, there is another template over here, that's word. So in this one, what are we going to do? We're also going to just copy the exact same thing from home.html and import it on word. So let's go ahead and create a URL for that. So open up the dictionary URLs, this one, and we're just going to duplicate this, and over here we're going to add word. Take note, if you want to go over there, we're going to use slash, but we want this one to be like a action URL. So we're going to pass in an action to this, so that's why we're using word, and all this is going to make sense to you in a couple of seconds. So just keep following along with what I'm doing. So I'm going to say views.word, and take note, we haven't created this, so let's go ahead and create it now in the views.py. So with this, I'm just going to copy this over here, and I'm going to paste it down here, and change this one over here to word, and change this one over here to word. So with all this now, we are pretty much done. All we need to do is go ahead and start working with the main things that I want to do. But before that, there's one more thing I want to do in the home and what.html. In the home.html, I want to wrap my input field, which is this one over here. I want to wrap the input field and the button with a form tag. So I think this is the input field over here, and this is the button. So in order to do this, I could just go ahead and cut this out. So I'm just cut this out, and I'm going to create a form tag, and this form tag is going to go to word, just like that. And in here, I'm going to paste in what I cut, just like that. Everything should work really fine. And also, we are supposed to give this a name, so we're going to give this a name, and this is the name we're going to use to get whatever the user inputs in here. For example, let's say the user inputs something like broken, so we're going to use the name, this name over here, to get it. So we're going to name this search. Just follow along with what I'm doing. We're going to name that search, and also the button. Now let's look for the button. This is it over here. It has a class of btn. So what I want to do is just get rid of this button. So I'm just going to get rid of it. I'm going to say button. I'm creating a button tag, and it's going to have a class of btn, just like that. And in this button also, it's going to have a type of submit. And in here, let's see how it's looking over here now. So as you can see, there's nothing in here, so we're just going to say search, and okay, that's pretty much what I want. Button class btn type submit. So that's pretty much what I want. Now I think that's all we need to do over here. We can just copy this and come over to the word.html, and let's look for the button and the input field. So this is it over here. I'm just gonna cut this out and paste in what I copied. So with this, everything should look really fine, and that's pretty much what we need to do. Now let's go ahead and start adding the functionality to this. So how do we actually get the meaning, synonyms, and antonyms of word? So we have to do that using a Python library called dictionary. So it's called PyDictionary, and I think there's a really great library that really makes this process, or this function of creating a dictionary in Django really easy. So you want to do that, just go ahead and open up your command prompt. So you want to open up your command prompt, and let's just say I want to open up like a new tab in command prompt. I'm just get rid of that and come over here and type out cmd and open this up, command prompt. I'm gonna just say pip install PyDictionary. Okay guys, and as you can see, I opened up this site over here. It says pypi.org/project/PyDictionary. So I'm just gonna go ahead and copy this. If you want, you could just hard code it in your terminal. It's PyDictionary, just like that. And I'm just gonna paste this in here in my command prompt or terminal if you're on the Mac, and hit enter on my keyboard. So I think I already have this. It's just gonna say requirement satisfied, and maybe you won't have it, so just go ahead and install that. So as you can see, it says a requirement or dissatisfied, blah blah blah, and I'm just gonna go ahead and start working with what I want to do. So I'm just going to close this and come back to my IDE. So in my IDE, the first thing I want to do is come over to my views, and we're going to import the Py dictionary that we created. So we're just going to say from Py dictionary, and hopefully this is working fine. Okay, I think I actually need to install this in my virtual environment. I actually need to do that, so I'm just go ahead and open up my virtual environment in here, and I'm just gonna paste in the same stuff, and let's install it in here, because I'm using virtual environments. That's why I have to install it in here. If I'm not using a virtual environment, it's already installed on my PC, but when using a virtual environment, everything comes new. You don't have any file again, like you don't have any library installed. So if I say something like let's say pip freeze, you'll see I already have this on my PC. This is it. So I have a lot of libraries over here. This is Py dictionary, but using a Django virtual environment, you don't actually have that installed. So as you can see, it's installed successfully. So you want to go ahead and do the same thing, and from here we're gonna say from Py dictionary, we want to import Py dictionary, just like that. So that's easily what we need to do. Now over here we need to get whatever the user inputs in here. So we need to get whatever the user inputs in here, and whatever the user inputs in here, that's what we're gonna use and like get the meaning of whatever what they imputed, as I explained earlier. So in order to do this, you just want to come over here and we're gonna say search. So many different variable search, and this is like what the user is gonna input in there. So with this, I'm just gonna say request dot get, and we're gonna pass in the name search. So I'm using this name search over here. That's just because in our home.html, in the inputs field, we have this name search. So that's why I'm using the same name here. Let's say the name is like search AAA. I still have to come over here and say search AAA. So take note of that. I just want to go ahead and get rid of this so we don't encounter errors. So with this now, I think we should go ahead and start doing more things. So I want to define another variable, and we're going to call this dictionary. So with this now, I'm just going to call Py dictionary and open up parentheses, just like that. It's just like initializing the Py dictionary or something. So with this now, the first thing we're going to do is add a meaning. So we need a meaning of a word, we need a meaning of a word, and we need that. So after that, we're going to set it equal to dictionary. So that's a variable. Meaning is going to be set equal to dictionary dot meaning. So this is like a function that Py dictionary has, the meaning function. So in here, I'm going to pass in search. So let me explain what I'm doing here before I go ahead and continue. I created a variable over here and set request.getSearch. So this simply means get whatever the user inputs in here. So that's what it means. Then this over here, just like initializing the Py dictionary. Then what I did over here is I want to get the meaning of whatever the user inputs in here. So I said dictionary.meaning. So this is just like gets the meaning of whatever the user inputs, and you remember the search over here is this that stores whatever the user inputs. Hopefully you understand what's going on. So with this, I also want to get synonyms and antonyms. So I'm just gonna say dictionary.antonym and also dictionary.synonym, just like that, and I'm gonna pass in the same thing over here. So I'm just copying and pasting, and I just want to add s over here. So this is gonna be like meaning and antonyms and synonyms. So with this, I think we are pretty much done. Let's just go ahead and pass in all this to our template. So in order to do that, you want to open up a context variable like that, and in here we're going to pass in a key of meaning. If you know how dictionary works in Python, that's the exact same thing that we are doing. So we are passing that to meaning, just like that. There's going to be a comma, and we're going to duplicate this in 3 places. So secondly, we want to pass in antonym, just like that. We're going to pass in antonym, and there's going to be antonym in here. We're going to pass in synonyms, or let's say it's synonyms that we are passing in. So this is going to be antonyms, and we are passing in. Okay, I just want to get what we are doing. We are passing in antonym in here, and we're passing in antonym, we're passing in synonyms, and finally we're gonna pass in synonyms like that. But as you can see, we are getting this this red lines over here that signifies that there's an error, and that's because we define the variable over here as antonyms and synonyms, but here we're just saying antonym. So we need to add a couple s over here and s over here, so everything should work really fine now. So with this now, we're just gonna go ahead and pass this to our template context like that, and I want to get rid of this. It's kind of confusing. So with this now, we are pretty much done. The next thing I want to do is just go over to our word.html. So we just want to come over to our word.html, and You see, I already have something in here that says meaning. This is where the meaning of the words should be. So this is just like a dummy thing when I was building out the website. So I'm going to get rid of this and open up context, passing a context variable, and this is going to be meaning. So you remember the meaning that we used from here in the urls.py, this meaning, that's what I'm passing in here. So I want to get the meaning of any word that the user imputes. So let's go ahead and see if this works fine, and if it doesn't, we're going to debug the error out, whatever error we get. So let me refresh the page, and this shouldn't take a whole lot of time. I don't know why it's taking time to refresh. Let's see. Okay, so in here, I'm just going to go ahead and pass in the word. So let's say I want to look for the meaning of destiny. And when I click on search, let's see it's loading this page, and hopefully everything should work totally fine. So I just give this a couple seconds and see what happens. Okay, and as you can see, it brings this out and it says noun. So this is because we haven't actually passed in a noun. I don't know what that's actually called into the context dictionary over here. So we actually need to pass in a noun in here. Something like this. Noun, and make sure I'm getting that correctly. Noun, and that's supposed to be in a string. Yeah, I remembered it's supposed to be in a string, and in here it is going to be so index number of 0, just like that. So as you can see, it's actually got everything, and it says an event or a cause of events, the ultimate agent regarded as predetermining the cause of events. So that's pretty much what we need, and as you can see, it's working totally fine. So let's say we want to get like the meaning of flourish, something like that. So let's make sure that the word is correct, and we click on search, give this a couple of seconds, and it should successfully load that up for us. Let's just wait, and as you can see, it says meaning a showy gesture. I don't know if this is showy or showy. You know, I'm not good at reading. Yeah, I'm just kidding. Okay, a showy gesture. Yeah, whatever. Okay, as you can see, it's working fine now. So we need to get the synonyms and the antonyms. And how do we do that? In order to do that, what you need to do is go ahead and loop through the synonyms and the antonyms and pass in whatever we get from there. So in the words.html, all I need to do is just get rid of this. I'm just get rid of this and open up a block content. Sorry, I said the block content. I'm gonna open up a block tag just like that, and we're gonna call this, and we're gonna say for synonym and synonyms, and I want to make sure I'm actually getting the spellings correctly. So I'm just gonna come over here and I'm gonna copy synonyms just like that, and let's get back there to the what.html, and I'm gonna paste it in here so it is correct. Now the next thing I want to do is just come over here and let me indent this so everything looks nice. So in here I want to pass in the context variable, and you remember that's synonym, just like that. And let's go back a bit and just want to make sure everything is looking good. Okay, with this I think we are good to go. So the next thing I want to do is just go ahead and end off the for loop. So I'm gonna say open this, and I'm gonna say end for, just like that. And let's see if this actually works. Let's come over here and refresh, but I think there should be like a comma over here. If not, we're gonna encounter an error. So let's come over here and refresh this. You want to make sure you have an active internet connection, or it's not going to work. So PyDictionary actually requires internet. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and refresh this, and hopefully we get something in the synonyms. So we come over here and we want to search for destiny, and let's see what happens. So as you can see, it says an event, a cause of events, but it didn't give us a synonym, and that's because, let's see, why didn't it return a synonym? So I think this is supposed to be synonyms, but even with this, I don't think it's going to return the synonym. I think the problem is from the views.py. So there should be S over here, and there should be S over here. So with this now, let's go ahead and refresh this again, and hopefully it should return some synonyms back now, and hopefully it does that. Okay, and as you can see, it's dead. So synonyms, it gave us inevitable, happening, day of reckoning, predestination, doom, natural event, and all this. So how about the antonyms? How do we get the antonyms? So it's easy. We just have to do the same thing that we did over here. So we could just copy this exact same thing that says for this in this, and we're gonna replace it with this one over here. So we're just gonna replace it with this one, and take note, you know, all the same things, other things can still be on the same line, you know that, right? So I'm just gonna copy this, and I'm saying for antonyms. So let me just go and say antonyms, just like that. So I'm gonna say for antonym, sorry, antonym, not antonyms. So I'm gonna say for antonym in antonyms, just like that. Then I want to get antonyms. Hopefully you understand what's going on. Then finally, I'm gonna just go ahead and end off the for loop. So I'm gonna say end for, and with this, everything should be working totally fine. This is not pretty much arranged. You can leave it on a straight line like this. It's gonna work fine. I don't know why I was trying to make things look good over here, and so just actually looking bad. So let's come over here and then refresh this again, and hopefully it works. And if it works, that's gonna be really amazing. Okay, and as you can see, we got some antonyms. It says victory, conformity, person, achiever, solvency. So we could go ahead and search for more. What, let's say I want to search let's say for the meaning of Python. Yeah, let's say Python, and when we click on search, let's see what actually happens. So as you can see, it gives us the meaning of Python. It's a large old world boar. So boar actually means snake, and as you can see, the synonyms, it says boar, rock snake, reticulated python, python variegatus, and amethyst in Python subfamily Pythonanywhere, and all that. So as you can see, everything is working totally fine. So that's pretty much it for this video, and hopefully you learned something new today, how to make a simple dictionary in Python using the Py dictionary library. And if you did, do not forget to drop a like on this video, consider subscribing, and also drop a comment on this video about what you think of this video, and that's really gonna mean a whole lot of things to me. And I hope I'll see you in my next video. Stay safe, my love, peace out.